I have the original deal analyzer from the older fortune builder back in the day. This was the best part of the whole business, is getting the deal analyzer. I don't think I could do this without having a deal analyzer. So I have an older deal analyzer, so bear with me here. If you have that newer one where you guys actually have to go between the two tabs, everything I have is all on one tab, which I don't like switching between the two tabs. So I'll flow through it real quick, and then some of the good stuff is at the bottom. So here in our deal analyzer, we have all the yellow stuff. Is the main important stuff you got to put in: the purchase price, rehab, and the ARVs. I have this added here where I figure out how much my hard money, this is critical, how much my hard money will give me of the deal. So this particular deal, I have an 85% share. This is where I was talking about the estimated hold time. I have it at 8 months. 8 to 10 months is where we're at right now. This is our big financing cost. So the first part of it is our hard money. Our hard money, again, is funding. Actually, we're at 7.5 now, and about a point with this new lender I'm at. So the hard money is funding most of this deal. So the second part of it is private money. How much private money do I need? This 141 right here is actually being generated, and I'll jump down to the bottom. So I added this here at the bottom that we just talked about. Everything's formulas and everything just kind of auto calculates itself. So the main things that we're looking for with our hard money is the difference that the hard money was funding the deal. So the hard money was funding the deal 85%. So I have to fund another 15% to help with the purchase. This is just a number for me to know. So the second part is how much I have to fund the points that's needed by the hard money. I have to fund that at the close. I have to pay, of course, pay all the closing costs, escrow, and all those fees. The loan payments for the hard money. I have to pay that loan payment sometimes up front. Excuse me, this is the loan payments for the duration of the deal. So that is 8 months. This is an 8-month period. I have to fund 8 months of loan payments of $27,000. This is where I added a cool stuff right here. This construction thing right here, this $20,000 construction budget. So I overfund this deal particularly $20,000 more than I probably need, just to have that extra funds to cover as rehab starts. And then this is holding costs and stuff like that. You know, your interest, all that other stuff, taxes and so forth. So that's really important to have this here. And see, this 141 just shoots up into this Excel right here, into this formula. So I'm figuring out how much I need. Then I added these right in here. So I want to know how much money I have into this deal. And this particular deal, I'm -$6,000. So I overfunded this deal by about -$6,000. This is really, really a hard thing to calculate and figure out. And I'm constantly tweaking this to get it right, because there's things to take into account. I don't want to get into it now. And then these are my most important numbers. I like to know my daily carrying costs too. So say my construction guys are working, they want to work Saturday. I'm like, hell yeah, you want to work Saturday? It costs me $244 a day. If you work Saturday, we can get done a day faster. That's going to save me $244. So actually, jumping into a ninja tip right here. So this 244, you know that on the top of your head, you know your numbers. When I go to sell a house, get this, guys, write this down. When I go to sell a house and I get into escrow, I will credit the buyers $100 a day to close faster. Write that down. Credit them $50, $100 a day to close faster. Because look, again, it cost me $244 a day. So if I credit my buyers $100 a day, who's winning there? Both of us. You catch all that, guys? So it's a huge ninja tip, because that buyer is going to push their loan officer to work faster. They're going to make sure they get all the paperwork in. They're going to make sure. And if they close maybe 5 days earlier, 2 days earlier, they win. They make an extra $500. Then there I go. I just saved 244 times 5, whatever that is. That's a lot of money. So paying out $5,000, $500 is still a lot better than saving that. So that's a huge ninja tip that I like to impose on everybody. Is throw a $50 credit, throw a $100 credit to close faster. Just use a little round number, it's easier. And we do that kind of on the side of the deal. We tell the agent to tell their agent, and it's kind of a verbal thing a lot of times we do. And then the escrow just factor that in. But huge thing, and pushes your deal to close faster. It turns that deal from a 45-day close to a 30-day close sometimes, because that buyer wants that money. I mean, we all want to save money, so of course. So that's a huge thing. This is another thing I'd like to know, how much money I'm getting back out of this deal sometimes. I added some other stuff over here I'll kind of share with you. I just do, I'm sorry, my screen. I do a quick kind of rehab budget analysis sometimes. Not anymore. I just use big round numbers, 80,000, 100 grand. But we work with our guys and just get a labor cost of 45,000. There's a 3 zeros after that, but I have it set up to know that. So it's 45,000, appliances 3,000. I just pick out the big costly items for us. Permits, materials, another huge costly item. So I'm just pulling out the huge costly items. And if you can work with a contractor, I have a contractor's background. So if you can work with a contractor and just work with a labor cost with him and you cover material, you have a huge savings, because that contractor is going to mark up your material. He doesn't know what you're going to get, so he's going to have to mark it up to make sure he covers his butt and mark up that material as well, because you know, some items may cost different. And then you, on the other hand, I just posted this yesterday. I bought $20,000 worth from Home Depot, and I saved $2,500. I just saved $2,500 by me going to Home Depot and getting my discounts, getting the things I needed cheaper, and saving money. And my contractor just has a labor rate. It's a little more work to manage, and you know, you're constantly material-wise. It is more work, but if you can find a good contractor that he can go purchase the materials and call on Home Depot checkout, and I just do a text one to pay. But I am now controlling my materials a lot better, and I can do returns at the end of the job and make a couple, 2,000, 3,000. I am a penny pincher, guys. Penny pinching is not bad. So controlling my materials is a huge way. And it's easier for the contractor to bid, because now he can work on man hours, and you can calculate it really easy. 3 guys a day, here in Hawaii, an average of 200 to 250 a day. A guy, say it's 250 a day, a guy, times 8 weeks. Do that math real fast. 3 guys times 8 weeks at 5 days a week. That's about 30 grand. So you can do the math really quick and know where he should be at when he tells you 8 weeks or 6 weeks. You know where he should be at, and you can see if they're scammy or not. I'm just trying to wrap up a couple more things. So a couple more things. Sometimes I like to pay myself before I start the deal. It's nice to get a little money to put it on the side. To live and enjoy. So that's another trick. I didn't get to talk about it too much, is managing the money. What I talked about in our group is we are the last guy to get paid. It is very difficult. I am the last guy to get paid on a deal, and you got to make it all the way through 10 months to get paid, you know, your 100 grand. So it is very difficult in life to manage all of that. And especially you don't got deals selling, and they're not selling, they're pushing back. So managing the money is very difficult. And especially when you got multiple projects, sometimes you may have all your money going into one bank account. When we started, we were working out of one bank account. So that was very difficult to manage. Now we're kind of flowing off into, we have different bank accounts for different things. And we're kind of rolling into every house should have its own bank account. And so much so, you should technically have every house in its own entity, actually, and when you get larger. And that's for lawsuits and protection later on. If somebody sues you, all those company bank accounts are all frozen. So if you have different entities, they can only sue that entity, and you can still keep other projects going and stuff like that. But that is a lot of work, definitely a lot of work. But that's later on as you guys grow. So stuff like that, I'm figuring, of course, hard money and things like that. So my deal analyzer is pretty straightforward in that sense, and I work all off of one page. I pay my realtor's fees of 4.5%. Again, my realtor's fee, 0.5% can change my deal huge. Say I'm at 4%, 4.5%, and I change this deal to 5%. Watch how much this deal changes. 33 goes to 37,000. So that's a $5,000 difference real fast. So this is actually a smaller deal. So I am always constantly three big numbers: realtor's fees, financing costs, and realtor's fee, financing costs, and rehab are your biggest things on a deal. So this is my deal analyzer. It's a one-page thing where I can just kind of look through this. I'm not switching back and forth. Then later on, I actually created another deal analyzer where I can see my actual numbers after the deal. And then I have a KPI tracker later on that we do. But yeah, this deal analyzer is kind of what I want to share with you in this last part of it. And then kind of talk about some little ninja tips more, a couple more, some of the bigger ones. So the bigger one I just talked about was, that $100 credit is a huge one, of course. Here's a big one, a really good one, especially in a high-end market, is hiring a home inspector. So when you go to sell a house, a home inspector is brought in by the buyers, and they do the inspection, and that's when they'll try and hit you for credits and things like that of that sort. So, for example, in our $3.5 million house, these buyers are going to be very savvy investor type people. I mean, people who buy $3.5 million houses, they're no slouches. They know their stuff. So they're going to be ready to hit me with some kind of credit if they find something. They're going to ask. So if I pay a home inspector $700 to go through that house and give me a whole huge report, that 80-page, 100-page report, here you go, contractor, this is your punch list. Make sure you catch every one of these things, not even the little things that outlet cover was crooked. You make sure you catch every one thing. Then I don't have to be crawling in the attic with my suit on and looking at the beams. And I mean, the best as I could do, I'm not going to do as deep as inspection as those guys. I mean, you can get an inspection where they check the pinholes and the paint. And so I give that report, especially in these high-end houses, to my contractor as my punch list. When you're doing maybe $100,000 house, maybe not, maybe so. Maybe you can just pick the larger items, the safety concern items off the list and do it something like that. You can pay different home inspectors different price inspection qualities, I guess you can call it, and just make sure to get the safety items. Safety items you should fix no matter what. People sometimes don't even ask, and I still just do it, and I'll fix things that are above and beyond because I want to have a good product. You want to have a good name for yourself. You want to have a good quality product for years to come. You want to be that guy, and so I recommend kind of always doing a little above and beyond. I mentioned earlier, another ninja tip: 0 offers equals 0 deals. So if you're not writing offers and you're complaining why I'm not getting deals, this does not work, you're not going to get deals. There's no other way to get deals if you don't write offers. So writing an offer on an email, writing an offer with an agent, you need to write at least 21 offers for us to find deals. Some say 24, some say, I don't know what the exact magic number is. For us, it's about 21 we average. So sometimes I'll write an offer knowing that I'm just trying to get to 21. This offer was insulting the agent. The agent's like, no way, they won't take it. We're way below their asking. And I'm like, okay, would you please make sure you present that offer? 6 months later, was your offer still good? Yeah, but $10,000 less. So writing that offer is the only way to get your foot in the door. And you never know. We've gotten deals, again, 6 months later, it was $100,000 less than they're asking. And you don't know the agent doesn't know that buyer situation. You don't know how close they are to foreclosure. You don't know that their credit cards are due and they're about to get foreclosed on. So write an offer. You never know. And especially if you guys did all that work and you inspected that house and you looked at it and you drove there and you're, my offer is way too low, I'm not gonna do it. Shit, you did all that work. Have the damn offer, even if you guys shoot an email. So I told you earlier how I respond back to the agent. I literally I don't even write 400,000. I write 400K, and that's it. That's all I write in an email, and I send it back cash. 400K cash. That's all I respond back to an agent that sends me a house to look at. And later on, yes, I make it easier for my agents. So I make a an MLS template for my agents to follow. For us here in Hawaii, I just pick out the allied items. H1 put this, H5 put this, F5. So I make it dummy proof for the agent. So make sure I put all the cool, tricks I want in there to get my deal. So I have a template. I just shoot that. I can attach that to that email if I need. If it's a new agent, here, write my offer like this. And I also have a credibility letter. Nice, beautiful little picture of my beautiful wife and my son, that family picture. And we wrote, it's actually the Fortune Builder credibility letter. And we tweaked it to ourselves. And just to give a little feelings to the buyer about you. So that's a good way to submit offers, having a little checklist for the agent, make it super easy for them, make it dummy proof, all the things you want, 25-day close, we waive everything. I do a huge $2,000 upfront, another 10 grand after J1. Some of the big things, we waive everything. I don't need a termite inspection report. I'm freaking gonna tear the house apart. Why do I need a termite inspection report? So I make my offers stand out more. I even waive surveying, which I probably shouldn't because I can use that later, but I'm just trying to get this deal. So what's the $500,000 cost that I have to pay later? I'm just trying to make my offers stand out more than everybody else's, and that's in MLS stuff. And there's some other little tricks so you have outs later on. You can have outs. You can always get out of a deal, by the way, guys. Little tricks to get out of a deal. Of course, J1 inspection, you can get out, and that's your out. Later on, you can say, my hard money lender will not finance the deal. We could not get financing. So we write an offer, all cash offer, but we put a little sentence down in under our offers. It says, buyers reserve the right to secure private money financing. All other conditions remain the same. So in our offer, we have a cash offer and everything, but we put under the conditioning, you can either put it in the Q section or under, it's H5 for us in our contract. So buyers reserve the right to secure private money financing. All other conditions remain the same. And that's so you can bring in a hard money lender, because technically you're in breach of contract if you bring in a hard money lender and you didn't state that. So you could be in trouble liability wise. So we put that in there to bring in our hard money lender. But as well as now I can say at 2 days from closing, my lender would not finance this deal. So there's a part in the contract where it says you can get out because you can't get financing, and then you get your money back. Of course, you guys want to fight for your money. Of course, I have 12 grand in there. I want to fight for every dollar. I don't want to give up any money. I will tie up the deal and let it sit in escrow and never give away my money. But with some more little bigger stuff, we're all scared at this, this industry, but constantly keep educating ourselves. This is my motto. I keep learning, keep growing. I'm still learning every day, and I'm still growing and watching everybody out there and learning from people. I don't know how you guys, some of those big guru guys do 100 deals a month or year or whatever. I mean, I don't know how. I would like to, and I think we can get bigger and get up to that level, but we only do maybe 2 to 3 a month. It was understanding your market, finding a little niche to access to MLS in your market, not just trusting realtors, not just trusting Zillow. Huge thing, understanding and learn your market. The credit card game, start getting credit cards and getting those lines of credit. What is it? The Points Guy is the website I use, where he'll talk about the best credit card to have. Chase Sapphire, if you don't have that card, it's pretty a badass card. It's like metal. It's cool to slap it down, and it's the best point. Chase Ink or Chase Sapphire for personal. Huge points. Start getting that, just in your life. Start using. That's what we do. We leverage money to make money. We are Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We are leveraging credit card money to go make money. We are leveraging hard money to go make money. We are leveraging private money. So I don't know who's a great example. What's Greg Cardone? Greg Cardone always talks about in his Instagram. He's constantly bringing investors. He's leveraging money to go make money. So that's what we do. We leverage money, lines of credit, bank credit cards. We're leveraging money to go make money. And of course, we're investing this money. We're not buying stupid stuff like cars. But be professional. Be a professional private money finder. Learn how to OPM. Learn how to keep finding money. That's, again, I was talking about that. I love your dogs, DJ. I forget. Learn about each trade. Network, and do some more networking. Huge part of our industry in real estate. If you ever see my Facebook posts and stuff like that, I don't even talk about my company name. Who cares about my company name? I'm networking myself and my personality and me. People are investing with me. They don't care about my company. You as an agent out there, no one knows your agent's company. I mean, an agent can make their side company. People want to invest with you, network you. You are everything in this industry. Make your name out there. As everyone knows JJ. JJ is awesome. I don't even know your company name, JJ, but I know, Beechwood Homes, but I know you, and everyone here just knows you and loves you. So you take notes from JJ with his networking, and you can use that a lot. Practice good integrity in all states, in every place you work. I really like to preach that. It is an industry. There's a lot of sharks and a lot of slimy people out there, and it is a crossroad. I feel like sometimes that is my weakness. A lot of times I'll get a seller who wants to sell their house, and a lot of times I'll be too helpful, and I don't get the deal, and I feel like I could be more, I don't know, aggressive and point them in a different direction, but I'm too helpful. But it's to your own personality and who you are. I'm born and raised in Hawaii. I'm more compelling to help people. I grew up Malamada Aina, we like to say here in Hawaii. Malamada land, Malamada, the place you take care of the land and the place you grew up and the place it's your home. It's a small industry. Everybody knows everybody. You create a bad name for yourself. You don't pay back an investor, or you create, maybe that deal, but now it's a long-term business for us, and you don't want to be that name. Even our houses, we create better houses than we probably should with little high-end products, because we want that name. We want that good integrity of who we are. So be integrity, is huge. So here's the better stuff. Hire the home inspector. That was a huge thing. Writing offers. Master the selling contract is a huge trick. When you're selling a deal over asking, especially right now with COVID, we are selling deals a lot of times over asking. And now you're going to deal with, this is a hard thing to understand, you're going to deal with appraisers. So a lot of times we make these houses and we have this value that we want to sell at. Maybe it's $1 million, but really we can only sell at the appraised value. It's $1 million, but the appraiser came in and said it's valued at $900,000. If you got a cash buyer, that's great, but a lot of times everyone's financing. So you can only sell at $900,000. That's all that bank will give that person to buy. So how are you going to come up with a difference? So a little trick we make sure we have in our contract is, if we have multiple offers, is we'll have an appraisal clause where the buyer needs to come up with the difference of the appraisal price. We can have an amount, $30,000 difference of the appraisal price. I have one right now, it's only a $5,000 difference. So even though they came in at asking price, I knew I was higher than what the market probably called for. So we had a $5,000 or $10,000 difference. Appraised short of what we wanted, but this buyer had in the contract from the start, make sure you get this at the start, it was able to come up with the difference. So it's called an appraisal clause, and it makes offers look stronger than others, especially when you're selling over asking. Highest we went was $75,000 over our asking price, and I had that appraisal clause because, again, the appraiser is only going to value what that house is valued at for the neighborhood, even though it may sell for millions of dollars more. So make sure that is right, and including when you reviewing a property's ARVs, your appraisal is, you can only sell the house is what that market value is more. You can never, not never, but not unless you get a cash offer. I talked about that huge one is giving the $100 credit to close faster, and front loading. At the beginning of the whole thing, we talked about front loading with your lenders, marking up some of the rehab items a little more costly in the front half of the rehab. And the last really important thing to me is, what is my time worth? I don't know. This is one that just bothers me so much. What is my time worth? Is my time worth it driving to Home Depot and picking up flooring? Is my time worth it at being at the project and putting in grass? Is my time worth, or is my time worth, looking for more deals, sitting in front of the computer and tweaking on finding investors or building relationships. So as much as I love construction, I love being a part of project, and I go to projects still myself, but it's cool, and it's cool to see the progression. But as somebody said in there, I'm not like Paul. I don't have 30 people in my office working for me currently. It's just me, myself, and I. So I don't have time. If I do drive a project and make those videos, it's really not the best use of my time. So what is my time value? So I'm always constantly thinking, is this the best use of my time? And so much so, should I hire a VA to do some of these things that I don't need to be doing? Is these not important things of my time? So I have a VA to do a lot of these mundane tasks that we need done constantly. You'll see some of my Facebook posts or some of our contracts and things like that. It's actually, I have a VA in Canada who I paid $10, and she does awesome job. She does a lot of things for me, and I'll just shoot her an email. Hey, can you take care of this? So is my time valued at $10, or is my time, again, I don't know, somebody do the math. What's 87,000 a month divided by 40 hours a week? I don't know, do the math. How much hours do we got to make an hour? How much dollars you got to make an hour? What is that? You got to make 87,000. That's the goal. We all want to be, we want to have those kind of numbers, of course. We all, if you're not, be honest with yourself, guys. We're not in the business of not making money. We're in the business of making money. I just had a deal where we have lawyers involved, and the agent said, "Oh, you're in this for the money?" Damn right, I'm in this for the money. I'd rather go paddling and play with my son. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be working. I do this to make money. I don't do it not to make money. So, underlining thing is we're in it to make money and to everyone make money. But yeah, that's kind of all I got.